Creating a college-going culture. My name is Alex Knox. I'm the Director of Community Relations for Richmond Mayor Tom Butt. And Tom was one of the council members before he was mayor that was deeply involved in negotiating the community benefits agreement with Chevron, and also making sure that the Richmond Promise program was a major part of that community benefits agreement. He's really invested in making sure that this is a strong, successful program, like programs that we've seen in other parts of the country. And so I'm here to help make sure that we get as much input to tailor this program to Richmond.
Hi, my name is Robert. I'm the Program Director at the Ed Fund for the Public Education Fund for West Contra Costa. We have a scholarship program, and we convene the College Access Network for the school district. So all the nonprofit organizations in the school district that work on college access, we get all those folks together and try to get more kids to college.
And I'm Shani. I work for the City of Richmond's Recreation Department. We work with a lot of the youth and summer workers and things like that. And I'm here today and I'm learning about it just like you.
And before we get started, if we can't get to everyone's questions, we want to emphasize again that there are many ways that you can submit your input. If you have to leave early, you can write your comment or thoughts on the paper over there. We'll collect it and send it to staff. There's also richmondpromise.org. Is it richmondpromise.org that you can go to, and there's a comment, online comment that you can submit there. And many of you probably picked up the comment cards at the front. On your way out as well, you can grab a comment card, and I'm sure you can always bring it back or send it to us at the city, and we'll collect it there. So in case we can't get to your questions or you think of something later. Do you want to frame?
Sure. So one of the things that we are looking at in this group here is how to create what's called a college-going culture. How do we create the belief in our schools, in our community, that all kids can go to college? That's a college-going culture. Right now, the college-going rate that the city manager put up is about 60%, 62% of graduates going off to college. And we want to increase that. One of the real great things about Promise programs is that they have the power to change the aspirations of the community around what's possible. We look at like the Pittsburgh Promise. Since it started, the amount of students graduating from high school has increased about 10% over 10 years, and the number of kids is also going up, pretty dramatically. Right? And that's one of our hopes with the Richmond Promise as well. But behind that, they put in a number of programs in their community and other Promise communities to help that happen. So things inside the schools, things out in the communities, to help educate parents, help things to get kids excited about going to college. All those different things to create a belief system that all kids can go to college, with adults and with kids. So these are some of the programs that are in the current draft strategic plan. And Alex is going to talk about a couple of those, just to give you an idea of what those are.
Some of the things that we pulled together to guide the ideas here. One of them being a kindergarten resources, a welcome and resources day. But the main idea, making sure that part of the program is reaching down to the kindergartners and giving them examples and giving them the message that you can go to college, that I'm on my way to college starting in kindergarten. After school programming, I think making sure that once kids get out of school, that they're continuing to get the resources they need in order to make it through whatever grade they're in, which then gets them through high school, which is a key step. Graduation plan and student pledge. Starting likely in a lot of cases in the freshman year, from day one, understanding what do I need to do through high school to put me in the best position to actually get into college when I graduate. Not starting in junior year or at the end of senior year when it's the last minute scrambling to get it together, but putting together, mapping out that plan. When do you have to start putting in your applications? What classes should you take? Internships, sports, extracurriculars, and also having a pledge that the students sign or that they participate in to say, you know, I'm committed to this and I'm going to follow through with it, so that they know, you know, from day one in high school that this is something that they're really going to work on. Parent engagement, of course, there's a lot of different ways to envision programming for parent engagement, but recognizing that is a key element to supporting a student's desire to go into higher education. A peer support network and a mentor network. Having peers in high school, seniors in high school, network with the underclassmen, and give them that sense of comfort in having been through high school to feel like, okay, I can make it through high school and I can be prepared to go to college. College tours, making sure that everyone feels welcome and excited to go see what a campus looks like. Academic signing day. Just like what we were talking about, we have the signing day for
kids going off to
big
get signed
schools.
to big universities to go
Right.
play in sports. This year, the districts did for the first time an academic signing day. So students that are going off to college, they sign their intent to go off to college, and it's a way for students below them to see that, you know, I too go off to college, and build some excitement about college.
Absolutely. Similar to the peer support network and the mentor network, ambassador and alumni networks, having people that have been through higher education, alumni, come back, speak with the high schoolers, speak with, you know, junior high, any kind of grade level, talking to them about what their experience was leaving town, going to school, whatever their higher education goals were, and having that interaction with somebody that's been through it, asking questions, demystifying, you know, college graduates to a degree. And then, of course, internship opportunities. In many respects, I mean, internships are really important, not only to being able to apply to different schools, but they give you the opportunity to get out of your normal routine, see what it means to really put yourself in a different environment, because that's what students will experience once they leave high school. So, with those things in mind, we'd like to get to the questions, and the first one is really dreaming big. What are the key components in our community and in our school district to create a college-going culture? What are some of the beliefs that we have established, and what are some of the programs and initiatives that we need, or that we could that would be really important to making sure that everyone understands that they can and will go to college?
I think for starters, I don't want to be on the camera, Mr. Godwin. You can just hear my voice. So I think for starters, speaking as the community and the school as one of the same. When you keep describing the community and the school as two separate entities, the folks that teach there and the kids that go there feel some type of disconnection. So it should just be community. The school is in the community, the kids go to school in their community, the teachers believe in their community, the teachers know their community, so that way it won't be this whole big disconnect.
Sure.
I think that's very, very important.
So in that respect, maybe rephrasing, as a community, being everyone with the school district as part of that, what do we have, or what do we need? What components are there in order to create this college-going culture, or to emphasize it?
We have a lot of resources in our community, and so I think one of the things is to not go out and try and create new things for this, to look at the existing resources, the things that are working within the existing resources, and really strengthen those pieces. The other thing I would say is, you know, it'd be really great to think about a database for, I don't know if you started at 6th grade or 7th grade or what grade, but we actually have those groups of kids in our community. We know their names, we know where they go to school, we're making sure, are they in this program, are they in that program, and if not, how are we reaching them to make sure they do get those supports. I think that that would be really important, you know, really linking the services so it's not just one-off services for kids, but they're really connected, linked, and somebody's kind of, you know, paying attention to that.
Yes.
I think I heard some of that when we talked about the local control funding formula. This was when they had it at a couple of schools. One of the ideas one of the parents brought up was basically having counselors, not just at high school, but starting basically in elementary school, and to track the kids and to bring in the families right away. And as we talked about in our previous session, that by the time a lot of our kids in 3rd grade are reading on grade level, there are no intervention programs that help them bring up to speed in 6th grade. Junior high is not a lot of programs involved. And then, like at De Anza we have right now, we have 9th graders coming in at 5th grade reading level, and you're going to ask a high school of 1,300 to try to bring them up to 9th grade. So to have a counselor who's helping them prepare from the get-go in elementary school and having those intervention programs there, as well as also having a lot of the other communities during summertime, they have a lot of programs available during summer, high-quality programs that keep the kids, you know, going during the summer, which I know the Ed Fund, you know, puts that book out, which is great. And we need to have more of that. And our after-school programs, my daughter was in an after-school program at her junior high. They did the best they could, but it wasn't something, it was basically there for babysitting. They really need to be involved. So I think we need to leverage or improve what we have in terms of after-school programming and summer programming, and then also try to get counselors to our kids in elementary school early on. And those counselors would also be able to help them with, like at De Anza, we have a health center there. They bring in social workers and other organizations that need to assist the kids. So that person could be that contact person with the family and the child and help them on their way up.
So really focusing, like you said, on the intervention, elementary school, because the weight is just too heavy by the time they get to high school, and the academic side of things is burdened to a degree that it's hard to bring people up.
And the kids are going through a lot of stuff emotionally too. By the time they're in 9th grade, if I remember with some of our kids, especially they were young, very, very bouncy boys, I would sit down and read with them. They wanted that one-on-one attention with an adult. By the time they're in 9th grade, they don't want to see you. You know, I mean, elementary school is such a good age to just grab them all and hug them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes, sir.
You go ahead.
Yeah, okay.
Couple of things. First thing is, you threw out some graduation, high school graduation rates and how many kids went to college. Do you have the numbers about how many of those kids graduated? That's just something you think about. What's the success rate of it? Because I don't think we want to start this program and people go off to college but they can't finish.
Oh, so the Promise programs in other cities,
Yeah.
and looking at the
and what's
success
the
rate of
graduation
them.
rate? So that's the first thing. But I want to get to my other two things.
I know you have a couple of.
So it's graduation rate from college?
From college, yes.
In Promise program cities.
Yes, because my biggest thing is
Right.
I know the struggles. I've been there, college
Sure.
grad myself. So that's just one of my questions that I had. One of the things I think we can do, to piggyback on what my sister was saying here, is as far as community and school, we can have a citywide college day. I mean, we don't really promote
Okay.
college as a city.
Like a fair.
It's like a fair.
Okay.
So like one Friday, all the schools, you know, they go by Pennett's or these universities, things like that, really promote it to the school from elementary on up to high school. And then Saturday we bring in the colleges and they can table and we can have activities, events, things like that. So that's my first thing. Second of all, I think the city needs to do a better job at hiring college grads from the city.
Okay.
Bring people that from the city, born and raised, they went off, they got their education, they got their degree, and bring them back in and have them start working in the city. That's my second thing. So hiring college grads from the city.
I can appreciate that. That's me.
That's not me.
No, but
I'll
it could
apply
be
and
more.
apply, and I pretty much say I'm done with Richmond. I'm done.
I'm totally with
And
you
so,
on that one.
they're born and raised here, can't get a job here.
No, that's a great actionable piece.
And then I think
You call me. I make the decision. You call me.
There you go.
You can't get no job.
I think the third thing is that we really need to push is when we do find our college graduates, embrace them and then put them to work as far as going into the local schools. There's nothing like it. Growing up here in Richmond, I can't say how many times I had a local college graduate come in and do a fair, or come in and do an assembly talking about when he went off to Cal and then got his master's in, wherever, law or what have you.
So they can help them encourage them.
I mean, the more we put it, think about it, the more we put things in front of kids at a young age, the more they grasp it, the more they understand it, the more it be ingrained in them. And I think that's what we're not doing right now, is that we're not putting college to them at a younger age.
So I hear like a real theme here with the fair of creating a strong community-wide sense of support for the students, not just saying it, but acting on it. So we're also gonna hire you, and we're not just gonna say, oh, it's great you're going to school, but look, here's how we prioritize, in our workforce and really pushing that, and being very firm on that stance. Yes, Don, and then.
A number of items, I'm sorry, but touching on what he was saying, a college fair for our area is a huge, huge thing. You go down to Los Gatos, they have a college fair with 125 different schools showing up there. You got people all over the greater Bay Area that come down to Los Gatos to their college fair. But most of the people that are going down there, especially from our areas, are just the seniors. But we have a college fair here, and we promote it amongst our high school students. You get our freshmen, our sophomores, and our juniors to these college fairs so they can learn about these colleges before they have to make a decision. The second thing we touched on being able to reach out to our youth. Whether we started in kindergarten like they were suggesting, or at the very minimum, starting out with in talking to the middle school students about what they're going to need to be able to get into college, so that when they get into the 9th grade, that terrible transitional period from the wild days of middle school to all of a sudden high school, that's where we see so many of them will screw up in that first semester, that first quarter, and get a bad grade. So get a B, for instance, that will stay on their transcript forever, and that will keep them out of the highly selective universities. Sure. And even when we're talking highly selective, we're not talking Stanford and Harvard, we're talking about even Cal.
Sure. So you're talking about, too, then this kind of graduation planning for what's really key, but starting not just in 9th grade, but maybe 6th and 7th grade, so that they're hitting the ground running when they get to high school.
When they get to high school, they need to hit the ground running, but they need to be able to they need to know what will they need in order to get into college, because by the time they are seniors, it is too late.
Exactly.
Okay, because they're filling out their college applications at the beginning of their senior year, and your grades there, it's not going to get you into college. Your grades in your senior year are going to keep you out of college if you screw up. So you need to be able to work on that early on.
Excellent. Yes.
Hi, I have experience with Contra Costa School District. My son just graduated from El Cerrito High. Most people, like he was mentioning, don't know that upper bound through UC Berkeley usually now is helping within the Contra Costa schools. And they help you, like he was mentioning, what classes you need to take, like AP classes, in order to have you're prepared to get into the universities or colleges. That way you don't do it at the end. They prepare you from 9th grade through the 12th grade. So they may help you with a cover letter to send to the universities, which they automatically they be accepted. My son got accepted at Sonoma State University, and they prepare them how they will be sleeping, like on summertime on the dorms, and how they be handling, because they're by themselves, teaching them, you got to be like that when you go to the university, or you're going to be an intern. So
having that guidance be very important. I know we have a lot of comments, and I want to just ask to reframe at just one quick question, because we have to run here. But something that we want to hear feedback on. How do we ensure that college-going culture initiatives reach out to multiple communities with different academic and social needs? Because that's something that's Richmond. We have a wide range of academic and social needs. So how do we get what we're talking about communicated and reached out to everybody?
Maybe 2 or 3 words each, you have 2.
Very quickly. Yes.
Okay, so I think that the main part of the issue is that the key word is a relationship, and the conversation can't only be had with the child. It needs to be had with the parent. The parent is the one that has to pay. The parent is the one that has to file their taxes. All that has to take place by the end of their 10th grade year. And you also need to talk to the child about a realistic college choice. You could say Cal, you could say Ivy League schools, but at the end of the day, if your mom or dad don't have any money, you're selling them a dream. So you need to have a realistic conversation. Your kid needs to know what that's like. And these community-based organizations need to stick to what they're supposed to do. You can't do it all.
Sure.
I know I could pick up a phone and call the HBCU and get a kid in, but not everybody doesn't have that you know.
One that it's
But that
exactly.
doesn't have that. But I just know, stick to what you know.
Sure thing. Yes, quickly. Sorry.
As far as the parents being educated, every parent needs to be educated about programs like these. I didn't know about UC Berkeley until they came to Portland, when it was Portland Middle School. They came up and they did something, they had a fair about UC Berkeley. I didn't know about the Promise program until a nurse, he went to the hospital for his finger and a nurse told me about it.
So quickly on that, how do we then improve on getting the word out on the things that you just mentioned?
Not just because I got the phone call to come here from the school district. Not just calling, but it needs to be implemented in school. It needs to be, it needs to be a closer relationship with the parents as well as the students, as well as the schools and all that. Because I vote.
And I won't
She
vote.
votes.
Yeah,
Right.
I won't vote.
Right. If I can't get the information I need from everyone, and I vote every year. And I definitely need more information about any programs that they have and how to get into those programs.
Okay.
Also,
Yes, very quickly.
also, any citywide event that's going on needs to have these type of informational booth at their events to grab and to hit the parents and hit the students. Anywhere you go, street fairs, any city, community, like if I was to go to Youth Richmond Works, there should be information there. The website needs to be better updated because I go there looking for things and it's got stuff on there from years ago and I'm like, this is irrelevant. This is not, hitting me where I am. So that, and then also social media is huge. I think the city needs to take a huge look at that and that's how they can reach it. Everybody's on Facebook, everybody's on Twitter, everybody's on Snapchat, and not just youth, but also their parents are as well. So they need to utilize that.
Excellent. Okay.
The politicians, they use those billboards.
Right.
We've seen all those
For the
politicians'
campaigns.
faces.
Yes.
Okay, a lot of people don't know about this, because when kids walk in front of my house, I'm the crazy lady, right? Hi, how you guys doing? How was school? Did you know that if you go to Richmond School? No. Put it on the billboard.
It's interesting. We've heard us comment, and I've heard that elsewhere for similar things, and so billboards has been something that other people have
Or mailers, the mailers.
just saying, hey, or mailers, and so I really do think the manager just came in here to let us know that we have to run, so I really do think we have to go. I want to remind everybody, richmondpromise.org. You can submit your comments on there very easily, and they'll all be recorded. Thank you so much.